$30 ice balls, $60 vanilla extract, nano pure, restructured, it's literally just water for $26. And who could forget the Hailey Bieber smoothie?
Smoothie was literally $1,000.
This smoothie better be infused with vibranium.
Okay, yes, the prices are ridiculous. But you know what I'm more curious about? The people. I mean, is it all celebrities, millionaires, millionaire kids of celebrities? I don't know, but let's find out. Today, we're talking to 3 guests to figure out who they are, how they made their money, and how you could do the same.
I think that the true opportunity to develop wealth comes from...
Let's go. What's your name, age, and what do you do for a living?
My name is Steve. I am 51 years old, and I'm the CFO and Chief Operating Officer for a company that franchises fast casual restaurants.
My name is Cal Yee. I'm 71, and I am a fashion photographer, and I make jewelry.
And you were just telling me a little bit earlier that like you had seen some crazy things at Erewhon. What are some of like the crazy things you've seen inside there?
The unfortunate thing for me as a regular shopper, a lot of people buying a shake and having someone photograph them with the Erewhon sign behind holding a shake. You know,
that's the classic.
It's annoying.
My name is Audrey. I'm 51. I do branding and marketing. I have my own consultant firm kind of thing, and then I'm working on a book.
You know, it's annoying if you're a regular and this goes on, but you know.
What are some like common mistakes that you see younger people making that are on a similar career track?
The number one thing that I see with young professionals coming out of school is they're not patient enough. They feel that their career needs to move faster than it is. It's going to be a grind, especially earlier in your career. But as you make progress through your career, sometimes things are going to go fast and sometimes things are going to go slow.
What is something that you would tell your younger self if you could?
My younger self, I guess, just was really set on career goals, especially because my parents, often parents have directives for their children and they want you to do this and go to college. You're one of those kids that's in high school and has a passion and is really good at something already. Go for that.
Don't be too big for any task. There's things that I do from day to day that normal other CFOs might not do, but I feel like it's important for me to roll up my sleeves and be connected to my business.
What is the best investment that you've ever made in your life?
Real estate has been very successful for me. There's a big demand today for things like bricklayers, electricians, plumbers that are very successful because there's an art to what you do. You don't have to go to the fanciest schools. You don't have to do those different types of things. It's really driven by the person that has that entrepreneurial mindset. And I think some of the most successful people that I've met in my career, they aren't afraid to fail.
I'm with the Warren Buffett, Steve Jobs of do what you love. There's now this whole thing about, do you love is bullshit. I graduated from Berkeley, I got my MD, and then I made a hard left and became a fashion photographer. No one could believe it, oh my God, you left medicine, There was guaranteed income, there was guaranteed, status, there's all these things, but I ended up doing what I love.
I think that the true opportunity to develop wealth comes from owning your own business, taking a bigger chance. Don't be afraid to fail. There's some people that I know that are very successful, billionaire types, where some things didn't go right the first time around and they adapted. Early on, you have a much higher risk tolerance, right? Where I'm at in life, my risk tolerance isn't as big because you have less of a time horizon to correct it.
When you do what you love, you still work, but it doesn't feel like it. And when you have an artistic thing like photography, there's no endpoint. And you are not attached to just the money. That's a big challenge because everyone right now, it seems like, it's all about the money.
Don't close anything off. There's no bad ideas.
Yeah.
Right? You share them, you share ideas in a meeting. You share ideas with friends, colleagues, families. Sometimes you say something that really, really makes sense and resonates, and other times you're like, people look at you like, what are you talking about? But again, there's no bad idea.
Like I make jewelry, and like people are like, do you sell? Do you have a store? I said, no, and you could hear them thinking, so why do you do it? Because it's, what money are you making?
It's how do you execute it? If you make a mistake and it doesn't turn out the way you expect it to turn out, but it maybe turns out in a negative way or even a positive way for you, you're still young enough to pivot again. But at the end of the day, if you don't have the right work ethic, the right determination and treat people with respect, it doesn't matter.
So if you want a personal sense of satisfaction, you have to dig deep and find out what makes you tick, what personally will drive you, will please you, will give you that pleasure. And then, you do what you love.
I love that. That's a great message. I appreciate it. You said you were just getting started, which I love. What is your dream now to accomplish in the next 10 years? What's your ideal outcome?
Get $1 million book deal, and then travel discussing my book and doing like little mini meditation pop-ups discussing the topics of my book and encouraging people to think outside of the box when it comes to religion and God.
Is that what the book is about? Could you give us a little teaser?
Sure. It's called Rebranding God, the journey of coming to know yourself as you come to know God. And that's outside of the religious context. And I think LA is like the perfect city for that kind of work. I think it takes having a visceral experience of a concept of the divine outside of religious construct to actually know truly what God is. I think a lot of people believe in God, but they don't know God. And once you know God, it's like a whole different thing.
And what is your last message to the world, if you could sum it up?
The world is listen to yourself. Don't go to advice for other people. It's great to network. It's great to know people. Don't burn bridges. Don't be an asshole at work. Value those relationships because you never know when they're going to come back around.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.